Okay, in this handout, we are looking at several different countries, looking up some interesting facts and characteristics based on this handout. Um, who the decision makers are in these economies, whether it's individual or business, and then the economic goals: equity, which is equality, freedom, security, efficiency, and growth. In the United States, some of the interesting characteristics that I picked up on, that we are the world's largest economy. Most companies produce or operate in foreign countries. This is an older handout, and one of the things that the president did when he first entered office was to make the corporate income tax lower. Um, for a time, the United States had the highest corporate income tax in the world, and so that gave them less of an incentive to produce in the United States and more of an incentive to open their businesses in other countries where their corporate taxes are lower. So we've seen a little bit of change in that. In terms of service versus manufacturing, our economy, we are very heavy on services and not so much on manufacturing. And once again, that deals a lot with taxes. And so and tariffs, and we are starting to see some of those businesses come back to the United States and start to manufacture some things here. Our government does provide some services, so we are not a complete market economy. Our government does get involved and provide some safety nets for various individuals. Private property is encouraged, and the last thing it talks about is a large wealth gap between the wealthiest and the poorest people. Decision makers: individuals own property. Businesses get to decide what to produce, how to produce things, and then we use a price tag. So we have a price system where that's how we determine how we are going to distribute the goods. We put a price tag on it. So we very much are a capitalist economy or a market economy. Not total, not a pure, but very, very much on that side of the continuum. Economic goals in the United States: freedom, security, efficiency, and growth. North Korea, government has complete control, no trade, no private property. Government provides everything, and then the workers work for the government, are the things that I got out of that. Decision makers: the government makes all the decisions, and the things that they are concerned about is being able to distribute things equally to everyone. And because the government does make sure that everyone has a job, even though it's working for the government, they can say that is providing security for everyone. Australia here, what I picked up on: it's easy to start a business there. Private property is protected. They have lots of trade, but once again, they also have a large income gap. Decision makers: individuals make the decisions in Australia's economy, and freedom and growth are the two economic goals that I picked up on in that too. All right. Vietnam. Vietnam is a socialist economy, and once again, that's where we have taxes, and the government provides a lot of services for them. They are enjoying some growth and some trade and trying to encourage that. The idea of redistribution of wealth: we're going to take from the wealthy and redistribute that and give money to the poor. There is less need for farmers in their economy now because of technology, so there definitely is underemployment in this, so there's some current concerns with that. Decision makers: the government, because they are a socialist economy, the government makes a lot of decisions. We tax heavily and then provide services and products to the people. But now there is a move towards more of individual decision making, and the economic goals of equity, this redistribution of wealth so that everyone is equal. But we are seeing them moving towards more growth. But then there's also some security in that. And then finally, China at the very bottom. It is the second largest economy. They have 1 billion people who live in China. Almost all of them are poor, very few billionaires or millionaires. Government controls most of the businesses. Foreign companies are allowed to operate, but they must follow all the government's rules. Workers are paid very little. and farmers farm, but then the government takes that and redistributes the food to everyone. The government does provide medical services, they provide education, but housing is private, and that's something that's a little newer. They haven't always been able to own their own homes. Decision makers, the government, obviously very heavy in making decisions, but they are starting to let people own some private property in the form of housing, and trying to move a little bit more towards allowing individuals to make some decisions. Security, equity, very, very strong. They're the goals that are being met there. There is some growth there, but still there's very, very little freedom. And so then at the bottom, on your continuum here, out of all of these economies, what we're going to see is North Korea is way over here. We're going to see China over here. Vietnam's going to be around here. Then the United States somewhere in this area, and then Australia over here.